Hi everybody, welcome back to Cabin Creek Homestead. Today we are finishing installing all the posts for our riding arena. This riding arena is going to be multi-purpose. We are a nonprofit horse rescue and therapy center, and we are going to exercise our animals in here. We're going to train up our kids how to do the right things. We have horseback riding lessons out here, but the biggest thing is that we have supplemental therapy for youth that are in our community. We have had kids out here doing stuff with horses, but the confines of the pasture that they were in was just really inconvenient because it was shared with other animals, which is a distraction for the horses, a distraction for the kids. It was very uneven, and it wasn't big enough. And so we decided to dedicate this space out here in our southern pasture to a riding arena. So let's go inside there. I want to show you how we're doing it and why we chose to do it this way. The size of our riding ring is going to be 96 feet long and 64 feet wide. We thought about going with a traditional small dressage size ring, but the flow of our land means that we would end up excavating, digging out, compacting down, and adding a whole bunch of footing, and that gets really, really expensive. And because we only have a need for some very simple horse work out here, we are going to go with the flow of our land. Right now, I'm going slightly downhill. And today when we drove out here, we were so pleased to find that this lot right here was completely dry, which is a big deal because we had over 12 hours of rain 2 days ago. Other parts of our property are still knee-deep mud. And so this grade that naturally comes with the flow of the land is such a benefit for us because that means we don't have to excavate, we don't have to dig out. And when we add our footing, we know that our footing, which is going to be sand, maybe some crusher run, that's going to stay nice and dry. And we're not going to deal with a whole bunch of erosion from all the elements. Here we go, measuring diagonally from cross post to cross post. Making sure it's square. For our fence posts right here, we have treated lumber that is 4 by 4 by 6. So they're about 18 inches into the ground, leaving this a little under 5 feet. And then we're gonna have 2 by 4s that connect 2 railings on the top and bottom. We're gonna start with just the top rail because money. And then later on when we have our minis in here doing work with little children, we will add a bottom rail because minis could walk right under this 4-foot railing. The goal right here is to measure 4 times and dig once. We're taking a quick break to go get the lawnmower. It is way too difficult to walk around in these briars. So I just finished coming through here and cutting it up. I went forward and then I went on the diagonal. I really wanted to get rid of the briars because there's just a ton of blackberry bushes in here. And it was just really digging into our pants legs as we were trying to come in here and measure. And it was getting stuck on the measuring tape and all that. But one of the benefits I didn't think about was that it really gave me a closer look at the lay of the land. And so I'm noticing some low spots and high spots that we're definitely going to deal with. But later on, as our this riding arena is going to grow with us. So we're going to do this in stages just because of our financial constraints. After a while, we're going to bring in crush and run in here, and that's going to settle down and fill in all the low spots, and then we'll bring in sand because that sand footing is going to be really the best thing for the horse's legs, their feet, and it's also going to be the safest thing for a rider to fall on. So for now, we're just going to do very simple things out here, walking, going across ground poles, a lot of groundwork with our students and with our horses. And so I'm just really pleased with, this has never been graded before, but you almost can't tell. So I'm just glad that we have so little to do when it comes to grading the land. Now we're gonna keep measuring because we're a little bit confused. Math is not our strong suit.
Stay in school, kids.
Anyway, we finally have got it squared, and what we're doing to help us make sure that everything is going in a straight line is that we have a string going from one line to another, and we have made sure that it's going its trajectory is correct instead of making it wonky on one side. All of our posts are 8 feet apart. Our rails are 8 feet long. Our 2x4s are 8 feet long, so that's how far apart we're spacing them. In preparation for coming out here and actually breaking ground, we did a lot of research and we called on a lot of friends who actually have a lot of expertise in this area. And I really appreciate my friends, especially Megan and Beverly. Thank you for coming out here in person, for taking a look at this and helping us choose between all the different sites that we could have put this riding ring on. I really appreciate you. I also appreciate sharing your wisdom with me and helping us make this dream come true. There's a couple of elements that we are incorporating into our riding ring. Not only for the way that it looks, because in my opinion, if you have to build it, it might as well look good. I really don't like unsightly buildings and structures, although we have plenty of them, because sometimes it's just what you got to do. Now, eventually, when we do have sand in here, we're going to add bottom boards, 2x6s, all the way across the arena on the very bottom, and that's just going to act as an agent to hold in all the sand. If we do get a heavy rain, or if there's a lot of action in here, and naturally the sand is going to move, and you can't really guess where it's going to go, but we can easily drag it and fill it back out evenly, but we definitely don't want it to escape from the riding arena. So those bottom boards are going to keep it into a place where we can easily spread it back out. Now, we got another really good idea from one of our friends just the other day. He suggested that we have a sitting area for parents and for friends to come and watch their kids. And if we ever do have friendly competitions out here, it'd be a great space for multiple people to sit together on a riser where they can see into the arena instead of standing on the outside holding onto the railing like you see at barrel races and stuff like that. But that's way in the future. But wouldn't that be just fun? Someplace to sit while you're watching your kids ride. Oh, let's see what progress we've made. I've been talking this whole time, and you went ahead and put in a whole post.
Hey.
Ooh, this one's pretty.
It's got a little bent, but I put that on the back side.
No, I like
See
it. I think it's cute. All right, talk about the process of putting a post in the ground.
So you dig the hole first, and then you make sure it's lined up with this line. See how the line is just touching it? It's not like that, and it's not like that. Like it's not bent. It's perfectly straight. So it's touching it. Then you put a corner level, which shout out to my boy Ernie. Then you gotta make sure it's level. See, it's level in there, level on this side. And then you, I put a little concrete in it to keep it sturdy. And then you tamp it down with mud, dirt. That's it.
And how far are you putting them down into the ground?
About 18 inches.
So you measure and mark it, and
Yep.
then put it in at 18 inches.
Yep, that's it. Make sure you tamp it down good. Doesn't need to add water to the concrete because it's so wet out here. It draws in moisture from the ground. So you're good with that. Okay, it's good height. Now, will you go measure that back for me? Sorry.
What we're doing here is we're putting these cross rails
There you go.
so that they will measure halfway, so that the other cross rail will go here. This one starts here. And that is how we're measuring the space in between all of our holes. The math is mathing. That is a little bit far to the right. Just
Right there, even. See it?
awesome.
Did you see? How you feeling?
Did I see what?
I gotta say something funny, but you gotta turn that off. Hey babe, can you come hold this?
Hang on a second, I'm testing out the riding ring. Hey, am I on the right diagonal? Flying lead chain!
See if you can. Oh. You by yourself today? You didn't get Kara to come with you?
No, they're over at their friend's house. They don't